Spain's 36-match unbeaten run, 68% possession, 2 expected goals to Belgium's 0.37. On paper, this World Cup quarterfinal was already decided. Then a ball struck Rodri's arm, VAR reviewed it, no penalty. A dominant victory became a scandal, and FIFA found itself under fire. But the real question isn't whether Belgium deserved that call, it's what that call exposed. Spain arrived at SoFi Stadium as the benchmark for the entire tournament. 36 matches unbeaten, a streak stretching back over 3 years, and now just one result away from equaling Italy's all-time record. This was not a team built around a single superstar, but a collective machine, passing, pressing, and dictating the tempo from whistle to whistle. Against Belgium, Spain controls 68% of possession, circulating the ball with almost surgical precision. Their midfield triangle completed nearly 600 accurate passes, forcing Belgium to chase shadows for most of the match. The gulf in quality was reflected in the numbers. Spain generated more than 2 expected goals, while Belgium managed only 0.37, 17 shots to 5, 8 on target to 2. Every metric pointed to Spain as the side that set the standard, the system that others had to break. For opponents, facing Spain meant confronting not just a team, but a statistical inevitability. Belgium's plans unraveled before a ball was kicked. Amadou Onana, the anchor in midfield, watched from the stands after tearing his ACL in the round of 16. Just minutes before kickoff, Yuri Tillemans pulled up with a hamstring injury during warm-ups and was ruled out on the spot. That left Belgium missing 2/3 of their first-choice midfield, the core that provided both steel and creativity. The loss was more than a numbers problem. It left a vacuum in the center, forcing Hans Vanaken into a makeshift captain's role and pushing Kevin De Bruyne to cover even more ground. Without Onana's physical presence and Tielemans' ability to dictate play, Belgium struggled to maintain shape or break Spain's rhythm. The match became an uphill battle, with the Red Devils' midfield patched together and always a step behind the relentless Spanish press. Fabian Ruiz's name on the team sheet raised eyebrows before kickoff, but by the half-hour mark, the gamble looked inspired. With Pedri on the bench, Ruiz found himself at the heart of Spain's attacks. When Donny Malin's low drive was parried by the Belgian keeper, Ruiz pounced on the rebound, stabbing the ball into the net and sending the Spanish bench into celebration. For a moment, Spain's dominance on the ball seemed to have found its reward on the scoreboard. But just as Spain's supporters began to settle, Belgium found a way back. Kevin De Bruyne, burdened with extra responsibility after the midfield crisis, threaded a pass through the seams of Spain's defense. Charles de Ketelaere met it in stride, rising to head home the equalizer just before halftime. The goal wasn't just a lifeline for Belgium. It shattered Spain's remarkable 650-minute shutout streak at the World Cup, a run stretching across 5 clean sheets. The emotional swing was immediate. Spain's aura of invincibility cracked, and Belgium's belief surged as the teams left the field level. Thibaut Courtois stood as Belgium's last line of hope, his reputation as one of the world's top 5 goalkeepers echoing in every save. That sense of security vanished in the 71st minute. Courtois reached for a routine goal kick, then crumpled, clutching his right thigh. He pulled off his gloves and limped toward the sideline, tears streaking across his face. The Belgian bench watched in disbelief as their anchor left the pitch, the stadium falling into a stunned hush. Into the spotlight stepped Sam Lammers, a 24-year-old with only a handful of international appearances. For nearly 20 minutes, Belgium clung to the draw, but the tension was written on every defender's face. In the 88th minute, Spain pressed forward. Paco Barry unleashed a low, swerving shot from distance, straight at Lammers. The ball skipped off the turf, but Lammers misjudged the bounce, fumbling what should have been a routine save. In a heartbeat, Mikel Merino, just on as a substitute, pounced on the rebound. With his second touch of the match, Merino smashed the ball into the net, sending Spain's bench into chaos and Belgium's dream crashing down. The moment belonged to Spain, but it was Courtois' absence that made it possible. The match's most debated moment arrived in the 38th minute. As Belgium pressed for a breakthrough, a sharp pass inside the Spanish penalty area ricocheted off a teammate and struck Rodri's right forearm. The ball traveled barely a yard before making contact, Rodri's arm close to his side. No time to react, no movement toward the ball. Referee Michael Oliver paused, hand to his earpiece, while the VAR team in the booth reviewed the footage. For nearly half a minute, the stadium held its breath. Then the verdict: no penalty. The explanation followed the letter of the law. Under the World Cup's IFAB guidelines, accidental handball from a teammate's deflection when the arm is in a natural position does not merit a spot kick. The decision stood, but the sense of injustice among Belgian players and fans lingered long after the final whistle. Controversy around a single penalty call rarely explodes in a vacuum. By the time Belgium's players swarmed Michael Oliver, the World Cup itself had already become a stage for deeper suspicion, a tournament where every close decision seemed to echo far beyond the pitch. The handball uproar in Los Angeles was just the latest spark in a competition engulfed by scandal and doubt. The first tremor came before the knockout rounds even began, when U.S. striker Folarin Balogun was shown a red card against Bosnia and Herzegovina. The expected one-match ban threatened to keep him out of the last 16. But within hours, news broke of an extraordinary intervention. President Donald J. Trump had called FIFA President Gianni Infantino directly, asking for the suspension to be overturned. FIFA's disciplinary committee reversed course, suspending the ban and allowing Balogun to play against Belgium. The official explanation cited procedural review, but the optics were unmistakable. Headlines around the world questioned whether FIFA's judicial process could truly stand apart from political power. European lawmakers demanded an inquiry, warning that the decision risked turning disciplinary hearings into matters of diplomatic negotiation instead of sporting justice. That wasn't the only flashpoint. Egypt's exit against Argentina in the round of 16 unleashed a formal complaint from the Egyptian Football Association. Their letter to FIFA accused French referee Francois Letexier and his VAR team of double standards, citing a disallowed Egyptian goal, a penalty not awarded before Argentina's third, and what they called a pattern of regional favoritism. Analysts and former players echoed the outrage, pointing to missed reviews and perceived bias whenever matches involve the tournament's biggest names. FIFA has yet to issue a public response, but the silence has only fueled the perception of a system unwilling or unable to police itself. Meanwhile, news outlets in the United States reported that the Argentine Football Association was under FBI investigation for alleged financial misconduct. More than $300 million in transactions, routed through Miami-based accounts, became the subject of a probe into money laundering and fraud. The investigation doesn't touch Argentina's on-field results, but it casts a long shadow over the defending champions and the federation's commercial dealings. For many, the story is all too familiar, a reminder of FIFA's history with financial scandal and the persistent vulnerability of football's governing bodies to corruption. Layered together, these episodes have left the 2026 World Cup teetering on the edge of a legitimacy crisis. The uproar over a single handball call is magnified by the sense that at this tournament, no decision exists in isolation. Political interference, accusations of referee bias, and the specter of criminal investigations have all collided in a moment when the world's biggest sporting event is fighting to protect its credibility. The fallout from Belgium's denied penalty is inseparable from the larger question: can FIFA still command trust when the rules seem subject to forces far beyond the game? Lamine Yamal drew headlines before the tournament as Spain's next breakout star, but his World Cup output tells a quieter story. The 18-year-old winger found the net just once, his lone goal arriving on June 21st during a 4-0 rout of Saudi Arabia in the group stage. Since then, Yamal has played 6 matches without adding an assist, and his expected goals total stands at 1.54. The numbers suggest promise, but not yet a breakthrough. For all the talk about youth and flair, Spain's attack has leaned more on collective movement than on a single player spark. Yamal's flashes hint at the future, but the present belongs to the system. Spain's next test lands in Dallas on July 14th, the semifinal falling on Bastille Day, a date loaded with meaning for their opponents. France arrives with Kylian Mbappe chasing history, sitting on 20 career World Cup goals, just one behind Lionel Messi's all-time record of 21. The spotlight stretches beyond tactics or form. This is the meeting many have called the final before the final. For Spain, survival now means facing the only team with a recent World Cup title and the only striker close to rewriting the record books. Stakes don't get higher. The world will be watching. Today, every whistle, every replay, every ruling is more than just a call. It's a test of FIFA's credibility on the world stage. As controversy overshadows competition, trust in the game wavers. The real stakes now, whether football can reclaim the clarity its fans demand. What do you think?